that you've been to some far places. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such...
And it's Thierry Henry. And Henry is magnificent. It's absolutely magnificent. And when you need a goal, you need Thierry Henry.
Something change played through the centre. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent.
So, good evening, everyone. We're going to talk about, I think, probably the most controversial thing that ever happened in Football League history with Arsenal Football Club. Arsenal love controversy. So, the first one, this is 1918-19 now. The First World War had ended and the Football League were basically looking to resume football as quickly as possible. Now, the last season of football was in 1915 and 14-15, and that caused a massive upset with the general public, not football public, because they believed, why would men be volunteering and being sent to the front when football was still being encouraged? Because at that time of the war, conscription was not in place. So in that last season, but before we get on, I just want to, Mike Denton's got a great comment here. Rest in peace, Terry Neal, the first Arsenal manager I ever knew. Sunderland, it's there. Yeah, mate, what a top fella. Top. I was lucky to meet him on a few occasions, actually. Top man. Great sadness to see that he's passed away. I think he was 80. I don't know if he had an illness or anything, but yeah, awful shame. But we move on. Arsenal Maniac Jez, so disappointing. So many Arsenal traitors go. Some Arsenal channels like the we have just at. You talk about North Sides. Up Tottenham's arse and pashing Arsenal all the time. You would have thought Spurs are Barker or something. Well, yeah, happens, mate, doesn't it? Happens. But anyway, let's move on. So, in the last season of football, 1914-15, Arsenal had finished 5th in Division 2, way off the pace of getting promoted. Tottenham had finished bottom of Division 1. The Football League decided at their discretion that they were going to have an election. Who knows? Because we had in place that the bottom 2 of Division 1 went down, the top 2 of Division 1 went up. Very strange behaviour. But they decided at a meeting, teams in Division 2 could apply for election to join Division 1. I have no idea what the foundation was about that, but it was most unusual and has never, ever happened since. Teams in Div 1 could also apply to stay in Division 1. And of course, one of these teams to apply was Tottenham. Can't blame them, fair play. In Division 1 in 1914-15, Chelsea finished 2nd from bottom. So basically got Tottenham in 18th, Chelsea in 17th. So basically they should have been relegated. The 2 promoted teams, Derby County and Preston North End, should have gone up automatically. But no, something was about to happen. So both these teams applied to remain in Division 1. Now, normally, as I've said, they would have, these teams would have been relegated back to Division 2, but no. It was an automatic promotion, of course, for Derby County and Preston North End. So what was going to happen to Chelsea and what was going to happen to Tottenham? So why? I mean, I don't know. I can find no evidence. I've researched this and researched it. I can find absolutely no evidence of why this process took place. And it's the most bizarre thing. But as we get through this, guys, I think you'll see what actually happened. There are so many supposed reasons: bribery, thanking certain clubs for their contributions to the war effort, popularity of certain clubs, and the contributions to the war effort by certain club figures. Now, first point, a certain Henry Norris, who was at the time at Arsenal, had helped get volunteers to join the Players' Battalion for the First World War. And during the war, or just after the war, 1918, he was knighted by King George V for his work. So he's now a Sir. Sir carries a big weight back in time. Sir Henry Norris was, of course, one of Arsenal's owners, along with a Mr. William Hall. Now, if you remember back in time, both these guys were involved with Fulham when Arsenal were very nearly going to go bankrupt back in time. They wanted to amalgamate Fulham and Arsenal, but the Football League said no. Now, also at this time, the London Underground were extending the underground system up into North London. Work had stopped during the war, and I think I'm led to believe it stopped at Finsbury Park. So, and there was no plans by the London Underground to actually build a tube station at Highbury, as that area at the time of Islington was known. So Henry Norris advocated that it would be beneficial to the Underground to build a stadium at Arsenal, in Gillespie Road, as it would be beneficial for the amount of fans that would be able to get to Highbury for the Arsenal games. So the underground system agreed. Now, it is reported that Sir Henry Norris contributed to this development from his own wealth. So we'll see this pan out in a little bit. So the teams that applied for election from Division 2 to Division 1, from Division 1 to Division 2 to Division 1 were Arsenal, Barnsley, Birmingham City, Hull, Wolves, and at the very last minute, Nottingham Forest, which was a major surprise given that they had finished bottom of Division 2. So they were about to get kicked out back into the Midlands League. So where that came from, nobody really knows. But a newspaper at that point in time, that was a massive newspaper for sport fans, called The Athletic News, took up the cause to promote Arsenal's application to get re-elected back to Division 1. But before we get into that, I've got quite a few chats coming in, so we'll go through these. I'd like to hear your views on your theories of what this is all about, because I personally think it's the most controversial thing that has ever happened in English football. I honestly think it was corrupt. I really do. English with me, Arteta out all day, every day. English with me, S1HT's Tottenham better than us. That's a big statement. I'm not sure I can agree with that one, but we'll wait and see. Season's coming up. Are you excited about it? I am. Let's see what we can do. And I'm not getting gassed up about the pre-season. You know, pre-season's pre-season. When you get into the real games, when we get into it next Friday, Palace away, then we'll see how good Arsenal are and continue on from there. But Cyborg Ninja, big up, Jez. Nice to see you, my friend. Always in the chat, top fella. Craig AFC, big up, Jez. Nice to see you again, my friend. And we've got Shaili, I can't pronounce the next one, but fair play to you, my friend. Thanks for joining. Big up, Jez. Thank you, my friend. Hope you enjoy the content. And we've got Games to See. Big up, Jez. Nice to see you, my friend. You're always here. Top fella. English with me. Top Gooners already gearing up for a huge failure. We need more signings. Yeah, we need an attacking midfielder for definite. And we need a striker. Another striker. We can't rely on Jesus. And I certainly don't believe we can rely on Nketiah. No way. Sorry. Just not good enough. My opinion. And if you don't agree with me, fair play. Gunner 3R20. Big up to you. Big up to you, my friend. Good to see you. Mr. B for Life. Big up legend Jez. Congrats to England win. Yes. Well done, the Lionesses. Brilliant. I watched it. Absolutely awesome. Do you know, I was so nervous watching that game. And yes, it's awesome. And yet, to us men to bring the WC home. Yeah, well, bloody well played to them. Awesome. Arsenal Maniac. Not many of us were born in 1914-50. I was. No, I'm joking. But there you go. Good day, Jez. Abjeet. Nice to see you, my friend. Good day. Listen to while driving to work. Don't work too hard, my friend. Ty, big up Jesus. I love that name, my friend. Brilliant name. You legend. You're a brilliant man. Great channel, by the way. Anyway, let's move on. So where were we? So this newspaper, the Athletic News, which was a massive newspaper back at this time, rubbished Tottenham's claim to stay in Division 1 and put forward Arsenal's proposal. This newspaper was followed all around the country and it carried a hell of a lot of information about football in it. So it was, a bit like having a modern day Sun newspaper, I suppose. I don't know, something like that. And this newspaper highly promoted the fact that Arsenal had been born from a munitions background. Obviously, Woolwich Arsenal, the Foundry, and all that. And had been so active to supply munitions during the war. The fact that they'd sold their old manor ground to the Department of Munitions, and Arsenal gave up a lot of their fan base in the 14-15 season. So workers could go to work and make munitions for the troops and the Navy and all that. So also they promoted this. I don't get this statement. That Arsenal had been in the vanguard of the Football League expansion into the south of the country and had been the sole team in the Football League in London. Well, that's true to a point, but it's not wholly true because you had Orient in London, didn't have Chelsea at this point in time, but you had other teams that were vying to get into Div 2. So you can argue a point on that one, but and it is here that they cleverly wrapped up Arsenal's implied patriotism with their stoic long-term support of the Football League since 1893. So basically, Arsenal joined in 1893, and this is what they focused their argument on. But nobody mentioned that Tottenham had given up White Hart Lane in World War One for the use by the military during the war, so it could be used by the army as a marshalling area. So Tottenham, in the London Combination League, were playing at Oriel, and they also played at Highbury. So that's an interesting point in this, isn't it, really? So on the 10th of March 1919, an open discussion was held at the Football League, and basically it's laughable, really, what happened, because if you look at what actually did happen, it's a little bit embarrassing. So I'm just losing the computer here. 1 minute, what's going on here? But yeah, on the 10th of March 1919, open discussion with the Football League was held, and out of the 41 votes cast by the clubs involved, Arsenal easily won with 18 votes. Interesting. Tottenham were then placed back in Division 2, and Arsenal went back to Division 1. But Arsenal stayed there ever since. Now, that's purely and simply to the ability of what Arsenal Football Club achieved in their years. But interestingly, Chelsea also stayed in Division 1, even though they'd finished second from bottom. So what's that about? Rather strange. And it should be noted that a certain Arsenal owner, in conjunction, who owned Arsenal Football Club, with Sir Henry Norris, William Hall, had connections with Athletic newspaper. Very interesting, that, isn't it? So is this where the Arsenal-Tottenham rivalry started? Because before these times, I don't believe, from what I've found out, there was a great rivalry. And I honestly believe this was where the bitter hatred between the two clubs started. Because, you know, to be fair, Tottenham were outdone. Arsenal had no right to be elected back into Division 1. They'd finished 5th, and why wasn't it that the team that finished 3rd was elected? I don't get it. I don't get it. And that is why I think this is one of the biggest controversies in Football League history. I don't believe anything like this has ever happened since. And the fact that certain owners of Arsenal Football Club had such influence over the Football League, and like I've said, certain William Norris convinced the London Underground to build a tube station at Arsenal when they had absolutely no plans to do so. And reportedly, he helped fund it from his own wealth, not from Arsenal, from his own wealth. But Tottenham, you have to admire that in their defending statement when they were relegated back to Division 2, made the statement in that newspaper, the Athletic News, "We will take our defeat as sportsmen." Big statement, that. So, you know, guys, you know, that's all I'm going to talk about on this one. But I personally think it is a major thing that happened in Football League history. Seriously. If you've got your views, I'll be interested to hear. Go and look it up and see what you think. Arsenal Maniac, 2022 London Underground still needs work. 100 years on, sort it out. TFL. Yeah, well, it's been like that for years, mate, isn't it? Craig AFC 87, Ty, big up. And Stephen Fleetwood TV. Hi, Jez. Hope you're good, mate. Yeah, all good, mate. Go and support Stephen Fleetwood's channel. Guy does some great stuff with his charity work. Top man. Top fella. And Blackbeard, hi Jez, I'm so sick of our thick fans, I swear. Chatting rubbish because we won the Audi Cup equivalent. I'll be laughing at their extra tough reality check. AFC history is a welcome change to the other crap. Thank you, my friend. Give me a view. What do you think about what I've just said? What's your view? Because I'd love to hear your guys' views. Mr. B for Life, hey Maniac and Stephen, and Mike England. Good evening, Jez and chat. Well done, England. Yeah, England ladies, awesome, awesome, awesome. Mate, I'll tell you what, that last 15 minutes of extra time, I was really nervous, really. Craig says, Stephen Fleety, big up TV, mate. And Stephen, mate, super chat. Thank you, mate. But you shouldn't be, look, you do awesome work for your charity. You know, I appreciate it, man, but I'll be giving it straight back to you the next time I'll be watching you, because you do awesome, awesome stuff. And yeah, and I'll see you doing a history one tomorrow, mate. I'll watch it. And good luck and big up to you for doing it. Well done. Josh Hunter, evening, Jez. Evening to you, Josh. How are you? All good. And Mr. B for Life, Mike England, you have a popular name, my friend. Yes, of course. Arsenal Maniac, Mr. B for Life, mate, big up Brentford. Big up Brentford. Good luck for the next season, my friend. Blackbeard, money. Oh, is that an episode? Yeah, it is, isn't it? And Stephen says, big up Miss Craig, Mr. B for Life, all day. So what do you actually think went on? I think what happened with this whole facade was major corruption. Seriously. I really do, because, you know, all right, they finished bottom, but they reapplied to stay up, as they had the right to do so. Chelsea stayed up, finished second from bottom. Arsenal applied, but were backed by one of the biggest sports newspapers at the time, and got elected. So I honestly do believe there was major corruption going on here. And all that was going on around on the outsides, the fact that London Transport decided, I don't know what they were called back then, they weren't called London Transport, but whatever they were called, decided from the influence of Sir Henry Norris, who had recently been knighted by George V, the King of England, must have had a major pull in his favour. But in another video, you will see what the corruption is with these two gentlemen, Sir Henry Norris and William Hall, and what happens to them, because it doesn't end very well at all. So Josh says, I think we'll make one more signing, then which will be an 8. Oh, okay. Interesting. Ty, Jez, do you think Spurs will finish higher than Arsenal next season? That's a very good question, my friend. I'm hoping not. I think we've got a half decent squad. What I've seen in pre-season, and I'm not gassing it up in any shape or form. I think getting Jesus in is a major plus, but we still need another striker. We can't rely on Partey in midfield because he'll break down, and we've seen that. William Saliba, more than happy this guy's here. I think he's absolute quality, what I've seen of him. I watched him against Chelsea. I watched him against Seville yesterday, and I think he is class. Fair play. Can't knock it. So, but we still need, we've got Zinchenko in at right back, cover for Tierney. Tierney is injury prone. So we need somebody solid that can come in, step in. and I'm more than happy about that. I still think we need to out a few players. Excuse me, personally. I'm still thinking we need to get rid of, well, we're not going, but, Ben Shite, he's pony, but there we are. Dame Serena Wiegman surely has to be knighted. Well, she can't be knighted, but she can become lady. But I don't know how that happens with internationals. I'm not sure. Osmaniac missing out on top 4 by a point or 2, getting 4th isn't an achievement next season. And all his signings, it has to be a 3rd and Europa Cup. Mate, it has to be 1st and a Europa Cup and the FA Cup. No, I'm joking. But yeah, we've got to be challenging. We've got to be challenging, man. We've got to be challenging. I'm not accepting if he ends up 5th and we're out of the Europa League in the quarters and we're out of the FA Cup in the 5th round, goodbye Arteta. That says it all. That says it all. Arsenal ain't winning Europa. Well, let's wait and see. But I respect your comment. Stan Kroenke's in the chat. Nice to see you, my friend. How much more money are you going to spend, Stan? It'd be nice. Is this a Arteta out show? Yes, of course it is. All day long, man. Mr. B for life, only being pre-season friends so far. I don't think Palace will be such a... No, they will not. Mate, if you've ever been down to Palace away, it's a tough ground to go and play at. It's a very old school ground, very much how Highbury was. Fans very close to the pitch. The atmosphere is always amazing. The Palace fans never give up. And, yeah, it's an experience. Selhurst Park, mate, is an amazing day out. That is for sure. I mean that. Great fan base. Michael says, Mr. B for life, you're right, my friend. It's not going to be an easy opening game. Planets will be up for it. Yeah, they always are. They always bleeding up. Brian, crazy that we have already spent the most money in the league this season. Eddie overpaying heavily as always. That's the Arsenal way. We've always done it, man. Always done it. Tony Neri, great to see you, my friend. Even everyone. Yeah, good to see you, my friend. So anyway, guys, if you watch what I've just said, leave your comments. I'd love to hear what you're saying. Because I personally, my belief is that is the most disgraceful thing that's ever happened in the English Football League. I'm sure there was a lot of corruption, maybe bribery. There's no proof. We have no knowledge. But it certainly was not the right thing to do. Mr. B for life, were you sad about Terry Newell's passed away? All day, man. All day. He took Arsenal to 3 consecutive FA Cup finals. I thought I was very lucky to be at all 3. Lost to Ipswich, Brian Talbot, beat Man United 3-2, and then we lost to West Ham. Very embarrassing because they were in Division 2 at the time. But yeah, top fella. Great player for the club as well. Let's not forget that. Yeah. Very sad to see that. And I think he was 80 years of age. So, yeah, respect to that man. Blackbeard, I think we passed over a few brown envelopes, to be honest, Jez. I think quite a big brown envelope, to be honest with you, mate. I think we are lucky to have never been relegated since then because lots of people want to see it happen. Well, in my lifetime, the closest time was 74 when we finished 4th from bottom. But yes, it is a fact that we have gone the longest run in top flight football, Division 1 Premier League, more than any other club. So yeah, be thankful for that. And I hope I never see him get relegated. No. Reed Jackson, cheers, though, your intros class. Yes, thank you, mate. I can't claim fame to it. I didn't do it. A very nice young man, Connor, CMO on YouTube. He does some great graphics stuff. Young lad, trying to build his career in doing all that. So, yeah, top young man, top fella. Arsenal first. Big up, Jez. Sounds like there was a load of backhanders going on back then time. Mate, I think so. Mate, honestly, I seriously think it's so corrupt. Really is. I mean, what other explanation is? You know, we finished 5th. Tottenham finished bottom. Chelsea finished 2nd bottom. We win the vote, and we have an influential membership of the Arsenal owners who is part of the newspaper that promotes the championship of getting Arsenal re-promoted. Very odd. Very, very odd. But, you know, back in time, you know, the funny thing I think about it is that the newspaper was promoting that Arsenal were linked to the biggest armoury in Great Britain at Woolwich Arsenal, which obviously that's where Arsenal developed from. So that, I think, had a major influence. But, yeah, I've no doubt, my friend, that there was some serious money exchanging hands. I mean, you know, Sir William Norris was a very, very, very rich man. He owned many, many things and had basically money to burn. He was a very influential figure. And the fact he just recently been knighted by George V for his contribution to the war effort in World War I think that played a major, major part to all of this. And the fact that he actually could convince the London Underground to build a train station at Gillespie Road, Arsenal, when there was absolutely no plans to do it. They were going to bypass the area, but they did it. So, you know, there you go. It seriously says something, doesn't it? Den says, what do you think about the Sevilla performance? I think Sevilla were rubbish. If you talk about that team, I don't think they cared. I don't think they can be bothered. All they were interested in is kicking people, from what I saw. And I watched the game. I don't think they were particularly interested at all. And they were quite happy to turn up, take the money, and Arsenal basically just outplayed them because they couldn't be asked, to be honest. That's my opinion. Darren, great to see you, my friend. Top fella. Darren, evening, Jess and everyone. Nice to see you, my friend. Jack Stone, no Spurs won't, Arsenal. No Spur won't, Arsenal will. Sorry, mate, don't get that one. But I'm going to close this up in a minute because it's only a short one. Arsenal Maniac, sounds corruption, Jez. Yeah, I'll think all day. One finishes bottom, the other second bottom, a few bribes and done favours. What can we read about this scandal? Yeah, well, yeah, that's my view. You know, you've got to be honest. You know, I'm not blowing sunshine up Spurs by any shape or form. But I think they were very, very harshly done by. How did Chelsea stay up when they should have automatically been relegated? Spurs and Chelsea should both have gone down to Division 2. But, you know, Preston North End and Derby County were promoted quite correctly. Derby County won the league. Preston North End had come second. So they deserved to go up. So Chelsea and Tottenham should have come down. So why was it put to a vote of who should get elected to Division 1 over one team? Why wasn't it two teams? Why wasn't it that Arsenal and Birmingham City, out of those teams I mentioned, Wolves, Hull, you know, why wasn't it those teams that got elected as well. I just, it's madness. And I will say, of my own fruition, I think this is the most corrupt thing that has ever happened in English League history. It's never happened again. It didn't happen after World War II, when the league shut down in 1939-40 and was started up, I think it was 46, 47. Didn't happen then. So why did it happen back in this time, in 1919? Most odd. We never know. But I thought it was an interesting thing to talk about. Get your views. See what you think about it. Darren says, Jesus is moving well. I pray he doesn't catch the complacency bug at Arsenal. Yeah, absolutely. And totally agree with you, man. Lee Murphy, all right, old timer, all day. Thank you very much. Hope you're learning stuff. Say the aim should be. Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, get what you're saying. Brian, hi, Jez. What are your thoughts on Laurie Cunningham? I watched a YouTube video on him, and he came over as one of the best players in English football. He was a great player, my friend. A very good player. Norpan 506, Jez. Why was the great Arsene Wenger sleeping when Chelsea snatched Ashley Cole from us? That's a good point. I think it's more likely he wanted to go. I think Ashley Cole saw what was happening at Chelsea and what was happening at Arsenal and decided it's time to move on. And that's basically what happened. Darren says, we need Tillman's big time. Yeah, we do. And we'll end it here. Lee Murphy, if we continue our form, we'll make third, fourth. Well, I respect your view. Let's not get gassed up about this, because look at the teams we played in pre-season. Orlando City, Chelsea, who basically couldn't be asked. We also played Sevilla yesterday, a team that couldn't be asked. And yeah, I'm really happy with the fact we've got Jesus and we got Zinchenko. I'm not convinced about the other ones. How much of Fabio Vieira will we see? I don't think a lot. Marquinhos, probably not a lot. The other two, no. So yeah, we still need to do something. I'm not overly convinced, to be honest. Joss says, I do see Europa League avenue into the Champions League champs, a better possibility in top four. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, trouble is, Arsenal, we are shit in Europe, aren't we? Let's be fair. What we won, 2 European trophies in all the league, in all the years. The European Fairs Cup, Intercity Fairs Cup, and a Cup Winners' Cup. It's not a great record, is it? When you compare us to Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, it's pretty bloody poor. Pretty poor. But it is what it is. I'm expecting, I expect absolute 100% success next season. If this guy, Arteta, right, is not challenging, I've said it before, if this guy is not challenging for the title by Christmas, sack him. Sack him. If we're not in top 3 and on the heels of the top 2, Liverpool, Man City, or maybe Chelsea in the mix, sack him. It's time to move on. It's time, as a great man once said, it's time to go. And that's what it is. Delboy Gunner TV, how you doing, Jez? Loved your stream the other night, Delboy. Good to see you back up and running. Craig says, Delboy, big up. And Hello, Jez and chat, a blue whale. What a beautiful creature. Lovely. I love whales. Brian, also should only consider signing managers that have won the Premier League or the Champions League in the last 6 years. Arsenal are the third biggest club in England. At the moment, I totally agree with you. I totally agree. But we could well be overtaken shortly by Chelsea. Arsenal manager may be Sepp Blatter and Platini were on the Arsenal board in 1915. More than likely. More than likely. Alien Attic. Big up, Jez. Hope you're doing well. Love the content, mate. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for your support. Right, guys. I'm going to bail very shortly because I've got the wife texting me. My dinner is ready. But thanks for watching. Please leave in the chat and I can catch up with it what your view is. Soul Steps, the Gunners had finished only 6th in second division in 14-15 and they were the first Southern club to have joined the Football League. Yes, they actually finished 5th in 1914-15 and yes, they were, but that I don't think that's an excuse as to why they got voted in to take over Tottenham's spot in Division 1. There was a lot more than that. So there you go. But we will see. Leave your views. Yeah, I'd love to know what you actually honestly think. I've got my views. Mike Harron says, just to coin a Leaf Gunner phrase, rinse and repeat. Tactically inept, late subs, like Wenger and terrible man manager. Yep, all day. Blackbeard, you're the man, Jez. Thank you, my friend. Guys, thanks for your support. Surpassed 2.5 the other day, and that's all down to you and your wonderful support. I'm hoping to make 3K by Christmas. That'd be brilliant, awesome. And your love in the chat is always great. I love your comments. You know, you always come out with some great content, and it's brilliant. And so what I'm going to do, end it here. I'm going to do the outro because people have asked me to do this outro. And take care. I'll be dropping a stream. Tomorrow night I'm on with Gracie May. Go and watch Gracie May. I'm on with Kenny Ken, Northside, Diesel. It'll be a great show. Gracie's got a whole new setup to her channel. So it will be awesome. And before I do the outro, as Mr. B for Life says, Arteta out, you prick. Enjoy, guys. Thanks for watching.
Relieved to hear that you've been to some far out places. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such
It's Thierry Henry, and Henry is magnificent! It's absolutely magnificent! And when you need a goal, you need Thierry Henry!
Suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent.